Okay, so this is the, I will try to do short and interesting if possible. I'm sure all of you have something like Facebook. And I don't know, did you have this situation like this that the friends of you asking you, why didn't like my photos? I put some nice photos from vacation, from holiday. And you're saying, I didn't see your photos on my newsfeeds. You say, how? How it's possible? And you say, yeah, really, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it on my look at my mobiles. I don't have it. And that's the point. We don't see all our friends' activity on our newsfeeds. Why? Because not all data is showing up on our newsfeeds. Because if we have more than 1,000 friends, and let's say we have something like 100 fan pages, even if 10% of them would be active and posting some stuff, some pictures, videos, some quotes, we're going to spend a lot of time to scrolling all this stuff. So when we think about Edge, because on the first presentation, the Facebook was one of the symbols of the Edge era. And that's quite pretty true. So I would like to say a little about Edge computing from the data center point of view and data. Because for us, for data center providers, for cloud computing providers, it's all about data. And we were talking a little about the quantity of data, how much this quantity is growing, but it's also very important to mention about the quality of the data and what kind of challenges we have here regarding this one. So maybe a little more about Aruba. I'm not sure if you know the company yet. Aruba is the company that was established in Italy. So we are from Italy in 1994. So we are pretty old as well in this business, I would say. We started with the share hosting, then we came to the data centers and to cloud computing with our brand Aruba Cloud. And we are not focused only on our domestic market. We are quite active all around Europe. As you can see here, some numbers. Everyone loves the numbers. So we have over 4.7 million customers. We are growing quite fast, of course. Right now, our strategic product it's our data center and our cloud computing solution. And talking about Edge, from the beginning, we knew that Aruba Cloud, if we want to be international brand, we cannot be only focused in Italy with the data center. That's why we have decided to have the data center in every country when we want to be active. So as you can see, we have 7 data centers. The latest one has been opened in Warsaw, in Poland, when I'm living, and also a few weeks ago we opened the data center in Milan. People are saying that data is oil or gold of 21st century. So I would say that if data is gold, then data centers should be something like Fort Knox. So we should be a place where you can put your data and be sure that this data is safe and secured. And I think this is the biggest challenge regarding the edge computing, because we're going to generate a lot of data. So one thing is quantity of the data. And the second thing is quality of the data. So this is something what Facebook is doing. Facebook have their own algorithms, they have their own data centers, someone in Finland, in the United States, and they choosing what kind of data they're going to show you on your newsfeeds. So, and this is something what is very important also regarding the data centers, because we think that, of course, some of the data will be compute on the edge devices in the edge computing, and this number will be growing rapidly. According to Cisco Global Cloud Index, by 2090 we're going to have 500 zettabytes of the data, and only 10.4 zettabytes will be by IP traffic, so in data centers. So most of the data will be outside the standard IP traffic. Most of the data will be on the computing edge. So I would say that the most valuable and sensitive data is going to be on the IP traffic. That's why the data centers is going to be very, very important part of this new ecosystem. That's one of the challenge that Aruba is thinking is going to happen in the near future. And we are putting a lot of pressure regarding the quality of our service, our product, our buildings, because we know that data that is going to be in the data centers is going to be very valuable, sensitive data. As you know, if we're talking about some funny video clips on YouTube, now everyone is not only the data consumer, but we are also the data producer. So we're going to have a lot of data. We're going to produce some valuable data for us only, but some of the data will be very valuable for everyone. And this kind of the data, it's really important to keep it in the right place. Again, we talk about the edge computing, about Wi-Fi, and how we're going to transfer those data between the devices, and we know that Wi-Fi is not the perfect solution regarding the security. So again, the quality of the data, what kind of data is going to be stored in the data center, and which data is going to stay on the, let's say, edge computing place, that's two different stories. So we as Aruba, we are quite responsible regarding the data. That's why we are also one of the co-founders of the SpA, which is the cloud infrastructure service providers in Europe. And we also are one of the founders of the Code of Conduct, which means that we put a lot of, which is agree with the GDPR from the European Union regulations. So we're putting a lot of effort to make sure that your data is safe in the data centers who are part of SpA Cloud, which means that we're not going to sell your data to any third parties. Your data is going to be available only for you, even we don't have access to your data. And again, the data is going to be, according to very strict regulations, is not going to be overused in any ways. So this is one of things that is very important regarding the data and regarding the edge computing. The other one is the Open Cloud Foundation that has been established a few weeks ago, I guess. I think that it will even start at the beginning of 2018. But the point is that we would like to also to give you this freedom of moving your data from one cloud infrastructure to the other without any restrictions. So we are pretty sure that this is something very important for especially enterprise level, to make sure that you are the real owner of your data. So first of all, you can be sure that your data is safe, that no one is going to have access to your data except you. And the third, that you can move your data, because you are the owner of your data, so you can move your data to any other cloud infrastructure or your own data center, if you wish, without any problems. And the last part, it's our green environment strategy, because as you all may know, we will need more and more energy, as my friends told on previous speeches. So we are also very responsible regarding our energy supplier. So first of all, we are carbon footprints, and second, we have the full certification of origin. So we are not using, we are using only green energy for our data centers. We have our own hydro plant as well. And our newest, I would say, product service, it's our global cloud data center, our data center campus that has been built in Milan. As you can see, it's one of the newest data center. We have the full rating 4 according to NCI, which means that there's only 2 data centers in Europe that have the full certification. We are one of them. And this is very important because, again, we think that valuable and sensitive data need to have the best protection. In my personal opinion, the edge computing cannot guarantee 100% security for the data because of this, the way how edge computing is working, what kind of devices have and computed the data. So we think that the quality, the high quality of data will be stored in the data center campus, super data center, whatever you call it, and those data centers will have the highest quality of security. And this is what Aruba is planning to achieve regarding our data center. We will grow. We have over 200,000 square meters for our campus, so we're going to build the next buildings in the next coming years. All of them, of course, will be with the certification of rating 4 of NCI. All of them will be powered by green energy only. And of course, they will have the highest security level as it's possible right now at this moment. Regarding capacity, we are also have 4 entry points. So as you can see, there's regarding the bandwidth and latency, this is the perfect location regarding in Europe, because it's very close to the other point exchanges as well. So you can see that we have a very good location for your bandwidth. And of course, I would say this is something like Fort Knox for data, because we're working very hard to make sure that this is not only for Italian market, for domestic market. We have already the customers from the United States, from Asia, and from many other countries in Europe that decided to keep the data in our data center. What we really believe regarding the data is that there will be a lot of work for data center in coming years, because the number of the data will be growing rapidly, and we really believe that the big level of enterprise, like finance institution, insurance institution, IT, telco, or government institution, is going to looking for some security place for the data, and they will have a lot of data to store because of the Internet of Things and edge computing. So I think that's one of the challenge for the edge computing in the coming years for data center. It's what kind of data we want to store, and of course we have to also offer some tools for data analysis, because that's one of the biggest challenge for edge computing as well. As we said before, we only analyze 0.5% of data. So think what will happen if we are not going to have the right tools for analyze. So Aruba is also very involved in this kind of solution. We are planning to launch the big data as a service and database as a service for companies. So the data will be automatically analyzed as soon as they're going to be stored in our data center. So thank you again for your time. That will be all regarding my presentation. And I think I am out of time.